I've spotted something interesting.
One of us. Fire cleanses me. One of us. Cold flames forgetting. Hot flames remember.
Water!
Soaked to the skin.
Feeling hot under the collar. Stance of the stalwarts!
Die, vermin! Warm as dragon's breath! Did someone leave an oven door open?
As good as a new penny.
Into the fray once more!
spirits there vanquish my foes.
May I be valiant as the Lion of Summer.
Something toxic courses through my veins.
As good as a new penny. I feel better already!
I've spotted something interesting.
Here lies Baron von Thornlair, the finest poet in Rivellon.
I'm almost certain
Here lies Sinwyl, who was allergic to vowels. Here lies Lady Bravey, a forgetful mum who had 2 babies. Maybe. Here lies Lady Cordelia Grain, whose hats were nearly too fancy.
Baking like a cake.
Yes, the 7! I am restored!
The rabbit gives you a forlorn look. It seems as if it wants to speak to you, but can't. The rabbit nods and points to the northeast. The cat that got its tongue must have wandered off in that direction.
Hail, Source Hunter. Good to see you've reached Lacula Forest. There were times when I came to this neck of the woods just to whiff its wholesome air. Alas, that it is thick with sorcery these days. It surrounds us here, like an invisible mist. Takes cat's eyes to see it creep. Even so, it's plain as day to the east, all about Ikara's cabin. Immaculate's beset it. No doubt under Leandra's orders. If she has ordered such thorough defenses of her sister's cabin, we may be certain that whatever lies within will be a prize more precious than butter-baked plaice. That means Ikara herself must be there, Hunter, and it is essential that you find her. Only she can shed light on the details of Leandra's plans. Ha! Zigzags would see you dash rather than mosey. But matters such as these require a thoughtful approach. Leandra and her cronies may be lunatics all, but they're far from brainless. So be wary, Hunter.
want aid. I will expire soon. As good as a new penny.
Bless the Seven, I am restored! In the name of the goddess, halt! Who goes there? In that case, you can rest easy, Hunter. There is no source to be found here. Only the glory of Immaculate. Why, it's Silver Glen, of course. Once the abode of miners, now the abode of the faithful. We have traded the search for silver for the pursuit of divinity. I'm sure this sounds strange in what are strangers' ears, but you must know that but a short while ago a frightful sickness felled us by the dozen, until she who speaks for the goddess brought us a cure. She showed us how we may overcome the frailty and even the decrepitude of our mortal bodies. That is why we now live a life of devoutness and civility, so that we may become immaculate. But I suggest you talk to Father Loic if you want to learn more about the ways of the goddess. Be welcome, therefore, to Silver Glen. Blessed be all immaculates. Not immaculate as yet, friend. Be The
The
wary.
Immaculates here seem to be a friendly
vigilant.
enough bunch.
Seem being the operative word. Let's remain vigilant.
Over here, Hunter. It's me, Ahu.
The degenerates here claim they have been cleansed. But I can still smell the stink of persisting putrescence wafting from their grimy flesh. Silver Glen. This place sickens me. As you know, I once carried the burden of disease upon emaciated shoulders. Perhaps I had better explain in greater detail. Yes, let's get this over with. It went like this, Hunter. If a ghoul I had become, so a dark turn of thought convinced me. A ghoul's methods I should employ to escape the labyrinthian crypt of corporeal corruption. A necromancer I'd be. Yes, Only from deep within the deliriums of death would I tunnel my way back into the gardens of life. I did unspeakable things in the dusky dungeons that twist like forgotten veins to long-deceased organs far beneath my castle's sunlit halls. Halls which held my throne and held the bed upon which Heraka slept, her very touch blessing the satin she reposed upon. Still there came no relief. Perversions I created in scores, but they were mere undead all. Creatures so piteous that the thought of cheating death in their guise frightened me more than the swing of the scythe itself. Like mosquitoes in the night, panic and despair beset me until I turned to that darkest of all arts, demonology. It had to be. There was no other way. I could feel the life slipping out of me like love out of a betrayed spouse's heart. So I studied tomes so old the dust that fell from their centuries' unperused pages never knew the light of the stars that now shine. I drew forbidden symbols. I spoke unhallowed words, and from the smoke that rose like a dragon's last breath, a demon appeared to me and said, "Ask, O blighted king, and you shall have." "Just tell me," I cried. "Tell me what ails me." Heraka. Never had I known a single word can cut deeper than the sharpest of daggers. With maddening glee, the demon told me she was one of his kin, a soul-swallowing horror that had been feeding on both my body and my spirit like a leech. An ancient being was she, that moved from king to king throughout the ages, filling their hearts with love, then draining them of life. After such revelations, does one truly desire to live on? Death seemed like a mother then, welcoming me with her all will be well embrace. Yet still I feared exceedingly her seemingly sweet caress, and the oblivion that would follow. Release me from her, demon, and give me back the strength of a sick, free existence. So went my desperate plea. It smiled, of course it did. Smiled bare 100 razors as its eyes came alight with infernal fire. 1,000 years I will give you, it whispered. But then your soul shall be mine to incarcerate in the depths of hellish nemesis. As for your throne, that I'll have now. What say you, O brittle king? Do you accept my terms? I think you know the answer to that question, Hunter. But I've said enough for now. These memories are painful to recollect. So let us turn to the rest of them later. And so let the hunt continue.
Well, well, well. So our very own demon hunter once dabbled in the so-called darkest of arts himself.
Over here, Hunter. It's me, Arhu. Over here, Hunter.
You hit the nail on the head. No matter the circumstance, I simply cannot abide a hypocrite.
You've made it into the hamlet of Silverglen, I see. Unnerving spot, don't you find? Leandra has fashioned herself a hero here, but the townsfolk don't seem to know the truth behind the conduit, though they call themselves Immaculates. They're thick as trout, if you ask me, and unnaturally obsessed with ancient teachings. I haven't seen Leandra here myself, But she must have put on quite a show of magical mastery to enthrall a crowd of shaggy miners, to have them hop on the bandwagon of a shadowy religion wholly alien to them. Haven't you heard them whisper of the blood? How their eyes shine when they discuss certain stellar stones? Star stones, of course, which drenched in blood become bloodstones and are used in healing rituals. Now, I can see how it could be a fantastic thing to nurse a dying human back to health, if all it takes is to sacrifice a toad. But I spy bloodlust in these people's eyes. A bloodlust that goes beyond the usual meaning of the word. They all act like they're following a benign goddess that will lead them to paradise. But I'll be a dappled Dalmatian if any of that is true. I've been shadowing the local priest, a man by the name of Loic. I have the feeling he knows more than most in Silver Glen, for I've followed him in the night when he meets with cloaked strangers, and goblins even. Mangoth, Hyberheim. Of strange things I've heard him whisper. Yes, this priest has shady goings-on written all over that smug, holier-than-thou face of his. But we must start at the beginning, Source Hunter. The White Witch is still at large. If we want to get to the true heart of Leandra's doings, we must start with her sister. And she's far likelier to be in her cabin among the trees than here among Leandra's followers. The advantage of being a puss, my friend, is that one can pussyfoot. A white-haired wizard draws attention, but a cat can move about unnoticed and, indeed, unseen. Not that I'm not extra wary of these bloodsuckers, though. There's a conspicuous absence of pets in this eerie little town. The Immaculate's presence here is highly disconcerting. But we mustn't lose sight of our mission, Source Hunter. The White Witch resides somewhere in the wilds of the surrounding forest, and we must find her.
Farma Malbenita, a source hunter in Silver Glen. I have traveled mile on top of mile to find help, and now help has, how you say, appeared from skinny vapors. My story? Well, this is no small tale. I think perhaps you will be more interested in the, how you say, the short end of stick. I believe Lawrence, the leader of Mining Guild, tell my husband and many of other workers to mine deadly ore called tenebrium. Lawrence knew that this ore caused rot. Charming name, no? Yet ordered the miners to continue. Many men, my Ben among them, become the sickness. And now they, how you say, kick down the bucket. But the sickness, it is not normal. It kills swift and terrible, not unlike Source. My son Sebi and I travel from our home to find truth. But this has proven not so easy. My sweet little Pomargo Vizago, my darling Ben. We got along like, how you say, peas and ferrets. But He here there is work, very well paid, in mines, clearing special rock from silver mine. So he leaves Sebi and I to come to Silver Glen. We wait with hearts like stones for some months. And one day we see familiar figure moving with strange steps on path toward cottage. We run to meet him and take him into our arms, but he collapses at our touch. We help him inside and set him to rest. But he was in terrible condition. Each hour he grow worse, rot so fast we hardly recognize him after 2 short days. He slip away from us, and we bury him with much grief. When his father die, Sebi become restless. Being of the age, he join army and go straight to front line. Though I was nearly old woman, I join army as healer to be near and look after my boy. There we saw special legionnaire using strange weapon. And this legionnaire soon come to my tent with the same disease that killed Ben. I discovered the tenebrium ore in this weapon. It was the ore that killed them both. I come to Silver Glen to discover truth. And here I find Lawrence, that arrogant man, conducts his business without apologize to any. Exactly this. Please, Source Hunter, you must help me prove that Lawrence made his workers to mine deadly tenebrium. For your help, I offer blessing from my homeland. Se vi mal successos, mi plantos rizzarbo cae tormenti via nepo soggiai branco. Translation is difficult, but it means something like, if you fail, I will plant cherry tree and haunt your grandbaby beneath branches. Good luck.
Hello and welcome to our shop. I am the son of the proprietor, Nadia. Please let us know how we can help you. You've probably noticed that my mother Nadia and I aren't from around here. No. We traveled rather far from our hometown to plant new roots here in Silver Glen. My father, Ben, his death was somewhat mysterious, and we've traced the puzzle back to this little settlement. My mother will have plenty to say on that subject, if you're interested. Ma's a bit intense, to be sure. Set in her ways, but fiercely loyal to the family. Help her out and you've got a friend for life. Cross her, and you'll be better off skipping town. Not that that'll stop her from cursing your line for the next 1,000 cycles of Bendis. My father was a good man, equal in character to his wife. His death nearly destroyed us, Ma and me. But now we're here, and we won't leave until we've held the proper parties accountable for their role in his death.
The world is not immaculate as yet, friend. Be wary.
Pete!
Be vigilant.
Hi there, honey. You look like you're in dire need of some fun. And I'm just the girl to fun you. Oh, sugar, that's a story for another day, ain't it? Speaking of, yours and mine has hardly begun. What say we get better acquainted upstairs? I've got all kinds of, details to share with you. Indeed I do. And I'm just itching to take you places you've only ever dreamed of, darling. What's a lousy 250 gold between an adventurer like you and a fine piece of tale like the one I've got in store for you? Oh, that's the spirit, sugar. Oh, gold always puts me in the mood for a little romance. Follow me then, my knight in shining armour.
What can I get you, hun? A straight shot of the way, please. Coming right up.
There are great carnal powers, that source of so much passion and folly both. Passion and folly. Synonyms, really.
Gods! The fuse is getting shorter! Stop it! Freeze it!
Stop talking, naughty princess!
There you are, darling. Shall we get started then? Oh, let's do it. But first, I need to know about your preferences, darling. You're in charge tonight, after all. So tell me, which sort best floats your boat? A savage, merciless witch, or a gentle, sensuous nymph?
Princess, well,
Oh, I was hoping you'd say that. Not every customer can handle the thrill of a mid-afternoon fright, you know. And if I'm any good at this, I'll scare the pants right off you. Come, let's make ourselves comfortable. And this witch will weave her charms.
Water over the damn thing!
foul tricks! Princess Hunt
It was a
has
terribly stormy night. In the tiny hut, a cauldron steamed and bubbled. A figure stood in the corner, pressing its fat, purple nose into the sharp indentation where the hut's walls met. Low muttering
God,
burbled
the fuse is
through
getting
its jagged
shorter.
teeth and
Stop
bloated
it!
lips.
Freeze it!
A knock,
pocket,
swift
naughty
and
princess.
sharp,
Lift your
fell
hand
upon the
up.
door. Babe Orb, a small voice called. Babe Orb, it's happening, it's time. The figure stood up straight and straightened the long, stained apron that hung about its hips. A moment,
Let
child,
me go, you
a
little
moment.
monster!
Babe
Away
Orb
with you!
croaked, hurrying over to the cauldron. She quickly filled 2 flasks with the swirling violet brew and stuffed them into her pouch. In a flash, she was through the hut's door, flicking 2 gold coins at the grubby child, who scrambled to retrieve them from the dark doorsteps where they fell. The wind whipped Babe Orp's hair, lashing her thick skin with thorns. But the old witch had mind for one fact alone. The counsellor was nearly dead. After some minutes, she arrived at the edges of town. Working her way into the counsellor's sick room now required stealth, not speed. And so Babe Orp crept, silent as a cat,
Please,
between
somebody do
alley and
something.
square until she
Somebody
came to the
water over
doors
the
of his
damn thing.
old, silent
Princess Hunt
mansion.
and a boom!
It was nearly easy for the witch to sidle in. masked in a simple wallflower charm, and wind her way into the crowded room where the councillor lay dying. She cradled her flask in her arms, enjoyed their warm sloshing, and awaited the final moment. Soon, she whispering croaked, soon enough the councillor will be mine. The wailing mourners around her took no notice.
And that's the end of chapter 1. So cutie. What do you think?
Oh, I bet you could use a...
Let me go, you little monster! Away with you!
Takes the edge of the suspense, doesn't it? Oh, well. This has been a pleasure, darling. Come find me again, any old time.
Please, somebody do something!
Princess Hunter or boom! You there! Back off! Bicky boom! One more step and Bicky boom!
No, don't go! Please help me! That thing is keeping me trapped here! It's crazy! It'll kill me! Come on, are you afraid of that pathetic little thing? Show us what you've got! I didn't think you'd be so easily fazed. Get it together.
No, we'll do as I say, and there's an end to it.
Princess keep her trap shut or Bicky boom! No folks, shoo or Bicky boom! Last warning or Bicky boom!
Gods, the fuse is getting shorter! Stop it!
Lucky find.
Over here, sweet cheeks. Oh, I'm aching to share a moment together.
You at some point, or you always
Watch where you're going. These beauties will pierce you to the bone. So, do you fancy a trade then? Come now, before my age.
Come hither, sweetheart, or if I had a star for every time you brush my face. I'm aching for a moment.
Ever shot a bullseye in your sleep? Well, no wonder with your skill book as empty as all that.
Why don't you stay a while, darling? I just know I could take you on a wild ride if you let me.
You believe in the gods, baby, because you're the answer to all my prayers.
Hi there, cutie pie. Want to have a good time?
Tell me, sweetie, you have someone, or are you always
Over here, sweetie. Oh, I'm aching for a moment.
Tell me, sweetie, you have someone, or are you always
Oh, dear, dear, dear. You'll hardly impress the conduit with...
You dare disturb my ruminations? It must be that you can hardly wait to purchase an ingredient or two for a very urgent recipe. I'll forgive this imposition if you'll make me a generous offer.
Ah, Oh. You haven't any ale, have ya? Well, never mind for now. What sort of magical relics can I offer ya? Blessed by the goddess they are, each and all.
I hope you haven't come for miner's work, my friend. That's goblin territory now.
Give one of the comfort folk a visit, if you're in the mood. I recommend Ruby for her imagination. But Ramon's fierce as a wildcat, if that interests you.
Come hither, sweetheart, or if I had a star for every time you brighten my day, I'd have a galaxy in my
Quite a fine skeleton beneath that hide of yours, isn't there? Yes, a lovely, sturdy thing. I bet it'll last 100 generations, if treated properly.
Why don't you stay a while, darling? I just know I could take you on a wild ride if you let me.
You believe in the gods, baby, because you're the answer to all my prayers. You believe in the gods, baby, because you're the answer to all my prayers.
I just know I could take you on a wild ride if you let me.
Tell me, sweetie, you have someone, or are you always on? Tell me, sweetie, you have someone, or are you always on?
Hi there, cutie pie. Want to have a
Come
good time?
hither, sweetheart, or if I had a star for every time you brighten my day, I'd have a galaxy in my hand. Tell me, sweetie, you have someone...
Into the fray once more!
Why don't you stay a while, darling? I just know I could take you on a wild ride if you let me.
Oh, you start startled me. Let me compose myself. Hello, stranger. How can I help you? Oh, me? Oh, I'm just the waitress around here, as you can see. My husband, Blosius, is a legionnaire currently stationed in Sicil, but I haven't heard from him in far too long. He's Will? But that means he's... Oh, no. Oh, not my cutie, broody buttercup.
Praise the goddess! I'll pass the trial!
Friend, this is most excellent news. Welcome to the Immaculate Fold.
Yes! I can feel the goddess's finger coursing through my very veins! You believe in the gods, baby? Because you're the answer to all my prayers.
Where the wind blows, the goddess breathes. Where the rivers run, the goddess weeps. How can I connect you to our eternal goddess, my friend?
Tell me, sweetie, you at some point, or you always...
Why don't you stay a while, darling? I just know I could take you on a wild ride if you let me.
You believe in the gods, baby, because you're the answer to all my prayers. Time you brighten my day, I'd have a galaxy in my hand.
Hi there, cutie pie. Wanna have a good time?
Tell me, sweetie, you at sunburn, or are you always this hot?
What Lawrence did, it's curtains for him.
Moment together.
Do you believe in the gods, baby? Because you're the answer to all my prayers.
Brandon's the best overseer there ever was. No one's a more eager miner than he is. Wonder how he avoided catching rot, though.
Feeling sorry for that whiny lump of toll-taking fat.
What news from the mines?
No news, sir. Goblins will slice us to ribbons if we approach the bridge.
Unacceptable. I want those goblins out of my mine by yesterday. Send another man. As many as it takes.
We haven't enough men among us to take on even a few of them, sir.
Are you deaf? I said I want those goblins out. Make it happen. Even if you have to spear Drexis yourself.
Fortune!
A source hunter. My liege, I am at your disposal. I am Lawrence, the representative of the mining guild responsible for operations in Silver Glen. Please, valiant hunter, let us know how we can assist you. Oh, I am no one special. Merely a humble servant of the guild and shepherd to the happy flock of miners within this settlement. My only cause for complaint, Your Grace, are these awful goblins. They're starving us out, refusing even a single honest miner his right to work. Perhaps, my most upright highness, you might be able to help us with this little